Yo, what's going on? Good people? Listen, this is the first time this happened in a while, right? I am grateful. I am excited. I am thankful. I am proud of myself, right? I am not a minute late. I am right on freaking time with the live. I am at 9 a.m. Yo, and I was a little behind today because I wanted to be really ready by 8:30. I was done with my workout, done with my shower. I wasn't rushing. Um, but then I jumped on the phone call with my mom, talked to my mom and my nephew for a little bit. All right, so that got me behind. So I really wanted to be sitting here at the table, ready, 30 minutes prior. Right, that's the goal, to be here at the table doing some reading. Right, at 8:30. Right, that's the goal. That is the mission. But yo, what up? What's going on? Good people. Happy, thankful, thriving, and therapeutic Thursday. It's your boy, LaShawn Sugar Ray Marston. We are back again with another episode of SRDaily. This is episode 317. 317 episodes in 317. That sounds like an area code. You know what I mean? 317. I don't know what area code that is, but if you know, drop it in the comments. Let me know what area code is 317. But we are back again. Come on in. Hit the share button. Share this live with 5 to 10 of your friends who may be interested in tuning in. Hit that share button. I am going to share with some folks on my TikTok. I'm still going to do that. Share with folks on my TikTok so that they know what's happening. I can't share on Facebook because I am on Facebook via my StreamYard, and you can't share that way, but I'm going to share with as many people as I can, right? We're going to share with some folks on TikTok. Since we are still using it, we might as well share it and get it popping, make it lit as much as we can, right? What's going on, oh good people? Peace and love. Come on in. Thank you for tuning in. What is happening? Happy Thursday. I hope that you all are feeling well. I hope that your families are doing good. I am sending love, light, and positive vibes to everyone who is tuned in. I am hitting the share button. We are sharing this live with the people. Yeah, man, I'm grateful. We still here, yo. We still here. We still alive. We still living. Is still reason to be grateful. I can't wait to talk to you guys at my event next week because I got some stuff that I'm gonna share. I was on the verge of something crazy this week, right? And thankfully I did not go through with it. It's nothing crazy like that, right? So don't think nothing like that at all. But I wasn't feeling so great, man, and I was about to make some decisions that I would have regretted later, right? So obviously I ain't talking about nothing crazy because I would have regretted them, all right? So it ain't nothing like super insane. But yeah, I was on the verge, man. I was feeling real low, right? I was ready to stop doing some things. But yeah, I'm gonna talk more about it at my event next week, at my birthday event. All right, we are still here. Thank you to my lady, my love, for the belief, for the faith, for the confidence, right, for the support. That inspired me to keep going, that inspired me to keep pushing, that inspired me to keep striving, that inspired me to dream bigger, to remember that I do have an incredible support system, that I have done great things before, that I have overcome incredible challenges before. Yo, Ron Lewis, what's going on, my good brother? Peace and love. Yo, listen, man, we got to get an interview with you. I got to get on your show one of these days, Touch Base Daily. I check it out when I can. The schedule be hectic at that time. I think you go on at 11 a.m. I see the notification. I try to jump in sometimes. I'm not able to stay always, but I would love to chat with you, my brother, sometimes. Haven't seen you since last year around this time, actually. It was my birthday last year when I saw you. My birthday was on a Thursday last year. Birthday is on a Friday this year. Next Friday, I got some things going on. Don't know if you're available. If you are, you're obviously invited to my birthday event, Friday night, March 14th. I'm giving a talk. I'm going to talk my life and experience, right? And things from my perspective: politics, spirituality, relationships, dating, parenting, psychedelics. We're going to talk about all of the different things, right? Community building, activism, all of that stuff. And then Saturday, my brother, March 15th, I am doing a business launch in Long Island City. I am finally officially putting my company, LaShawn Marston Enterprises, out there to the public. Super excited, super grateful for that. right? As I mentioned that, I've been home from prison almost 18 years now. March 9th will be 18 years I've been home from prison. And in those 18 years, I've completely transformed my life, and I've been doing this work. I've been booked as a consultant. I've been booked as a speaker. I've been booked as a mentor. I've been booked as a writer, writing films and helping people write books, writing scripts for folks. I've been booked as an actor. I've been paid to curate art exhibits, art shows, all types of things I've been booked and paid for. But like, it's been on a need to know basis, right? Like last year, I got paid to curate an art exhibit. I curated an art exhibit about my hunger strike that I did 2 years ago, right? But I was able to bring in another artist to do some paintings. I was able to pay him some money. So I've been booked. I've been paid, right? But it's been on a need to know basis. Like if you knew, you knew. If you knew me, if you knew, somebody who knew me, they recommended you, was able to book me, right? He was able to hit me up, email me, call me, text me, book me. But it was nothing. I didn't have a website. It was not public knowledge, right? It wasn't public knowledge, these services. But now these services are public knowledge. Keynote speaking, workshop facilitation, life coaching, group coaching, right? Art curation, art exhibit, art media, and art and media curation, and solutions, all of the different things, man. Brand development, organizational consultant, because I've done all of them. All right. And I've helped improve individual lives. I've helped, advance organizations. I've helped push movements forward. And I'm grateful. So now it's time to share this gift with the world, to share these gifts, to share these services with the world, because holding them to me, to myself, the way I've been doing it is doing me and the people who need me a disservice, right? So I'm stepping out more. I've learned, and I'm learning, that there is a huge difference between building a business and being an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur since a kid, when I was buying and selling video games. When I used to buy candy, Queensbridge, we had a penny store. I used to buy candy from the penny store, and I used to resell them to children in school for 5 cents. All right. So every 5 cents, I make a quarter. All right. It was easy, right? I buy 5 peppermints and I sell them for 5 cents a piece, right? Because the young people in Ravenswood, who came to my school, they didn't have, a penny store. And some of the parents in Queensbridge, even though we had a penny store, all right, some parents wouldn't let their children go to the penny store, but the children would have some change, right? And in school, PS 111 or PS 76, they would buy the candy from me. So I've been an entrepreneur my whole life. My dad was an entrepreneur, right? But I learned that there is a stark difference between being an entrepreneur and building a business. I don't want to just be an entrepreneur no more. I want to build a business. I want to build something that can live without me, right? Being an entrepreneur, a lot of times, you got to be the one to do all of the things. You got to be the one to, do it. And I don't mind doing it, but I want to expand, because I want to do more. And I want to create jobs for people, right? As an entrepreneur, I've been able to subcontract people for certain things, but I want to build jobs for people. I want to build salaries for people. I want to be able to pay people $60K a year, $100K a year, right? $150K a year. I want to be able to pay people that money to do what they love doing, to make impact, right? One thing my company, my brand, it has always been about, and it will always be about, it is impact over income. So the impact is the most important thing, but we want to make some money while doing it. And so, I'm building a business rooted in impact, all right, rooted in community development, rooted in community building, rooted in human development and human potential and human progress. So yeah, man, come on out. That's next Saturday, March 15th, 12 to 3 p.m. here in Long Island City. I will send you the link. It's the free event. Just got RSVP. It's gonna be live coaching. It's gonna be live meditation. Gonna be a few other things I'm working on having at the event. It's gonna be a great time. I'm gonna share my vision. I'm gonna do a live interview with some folks, right? Somebody's going to interview me about my business, and we're gonna work on some things, right? That's Saturday afternoon. The day before that, Friday, March 14th, my actual birthday, I'm doing an event, a ticketed event, $40 a ticket. Food included, obviously all vegan food, no alcohol at all, right? I got shout out to Toast once again came through with the sponsorship. They are sending me a couple of cases of the non-alcoholic beverage. I'm super excited to have that at the event. So come through, man. Come through, hit me up, right? That's a ticketed event. Yo, E-Town, what's going on? Bless up, love and respect, beloved. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being on the check-in. Mona Love, my baby girl, what's happening? Happy, thankful, therapeutic, and thriving Thursday. We are back again with another day. Let me shout out my brother Uncut for the bucket hat. Protect your heart. I didn't know he told me that. This guy's a genius. He painted the Statue of Liberty on the hat. This is the Statue of Liberty. Check that out, guys. That is the Statue of Liberty on the bucket hat. Super dope. I think it's this way. No, it's that way. That way, right? That is the Statue of Liberty on the bucket hat, if you can see. The other side says love, right? Shout out to the brother Uncut, incredible artist, right? You might have seen him on my page. He's the artist I brought in last year to do the paintings for my art exhibit, right? Yeah, it's pretty dope, man. He got a bunch of hats like this, right? Super dope, super dope, super dope. But listen, let's jump right into the show. Thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, LaShawn Sugar Morrison. This is episode 317 of SR Daily. SR Daily with Personality Meets Enlightenment. We are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. live on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. We're going to jump right into the show with our first segment of the day. Today's first segment is a word of the day. And today's word is something that we've all heard before, something that we all know. Some of us may be scared of it. We may know the definition, but I really want to get into it and give it a different perspective. Today's word of the day is death. D-E-A-T-H, 5 letters. D-E-A-T-H, death. Obviously, we know death is the action or fact of dying or being killed, the end of the life of a person or organism, the state of being dead. This is where it starts to get interesting. The destruction or permanent end of something. The destruction or permanent end of something. So if you grew up, if you was a young person and you had a dream, you had all this zest, you had all this ambition, you had all this spirit to succeed, to grow, to prosper, to progress, to create, right? To be happy, to bring joy to others. And then something happened that caused you to lose that spark, caused you to lose that spirit, that caused that spirit, that energy to become suppressed. If something happened, then that is a death. That is a death. I know people, and I've been a person that I've existed, I've breathed, right? I was breathing, but I wasn't living. I wasn't pursuing my dreams. I wasn't living in my purpose. I wasn't passionate about life. I was just existing, and there are so many people that are living, right? Common knowledge tells us that death is that when breath leaves our body and our brain is no longer functioning, we are indeed dead. That is death, 100%. But when you are existing, when you are walking around this planet, when you are eating, when you are drinking, when you are sleeping, when you are humping and doing the bumping ground, when you're doing all of those things, but you are not intact or in tune with your mind, with your heart, with your spirit, then my brothers and sisters, you are what they call a walking dead. We've heard it's a whole series, right? The Walking Dead. I haven't watched it, but I know people who love it. It's a whole series, The Walking Dead, and they're quote unquote zombies. These things are metaphors, right? They're metaphors, and they're 100% relative to real life. There are people right now in our communities. There are people right now in our lives. There are people in our buildings. There are people at our jobs. There are people in our schools. Maybe even some of us are walking dead. Excuse me, burping. Maybe even some of us are walking dead. Maybe even some of us are walking dead. Beloveds, that is a sad reality for too many of our brothers and sisters. Too many of our brothers and sisters who are beautiful human beings, right? They have so much potential, right? So much potential. But the energy is stagnant. They need to figure out how to get it kinetic, how to get it in motion, and the way to do it, right? So in Christianity, in Christian texts, Jesus raised the dead, right? 100%. But we have the same obligation. We have the same obligation. We have the same ability to lift up our brothers and sisters who are walking dead, to remind them of their purpose, to be a light, to let them know that there is a way, right? To bring them back to salvation, to bring them back to themselves by first being an example of what it means to live. Waking up with a purpose, right? Even though we have pain, even though we experience loss, even though we experience a heartache, even though things may not be ideal, we wake up with a purpose. We continue to persist. We continue to spread joy. We continue to meditate, to pray, to give thanks, right? We can, as that example, lift up our brothers and sisters. We can remind them, right? They can be in the prisons. They can be on the streets. They can be wherever they are. If you come in contact with a brother or sister who you know that is walking dead, that is existing, but that is not living, yes, it can be dangerous sometimes because you can try to give them some jewels or gems, some wisdom, and they can attack you for it. 100%. That happens. That's like Jesus said, do not give your pearls to pigs for fear they will trample them underfoot, turn and devour you. Jesus the Christ said, do not give your pearls to pigs for fear they will trample them underfoot, turn and devour you. That's real. That's possible. That happens. So you got to be careful. But that's why it's best to just lead by example, to just live by example, right? To vibrate high so that people come to you, right? One thing I love about our priest of Ifa is that they don't go out like evangelizing. They don't do that. You got to come to them and say, hey, listen, I want this thing. I am in search of this thing. I want this knowledge, right? I want this knowledge. I want this wisdom. Can you feed me? I want this food, spirit food. Can you feed me? And then it is your responsibility to feed them. Bring them inside. Come on, my brother. Come on, my sister. I got you. Let's eat. Let's break bread. And in breaking bread, you're able to impart wisdom on them. You're able to give them a little spark and a little spark and a little spark. And some people need a bigger spark, right? So sometimes you may not be the person to do it, or you may not be enough. They may need another person to step in and give them a spark. They may need a friend. And so we're going to move on to the second segment, beloveds, but death is real, not only in the sense of when you are no longer breathing or when your brain stops functioning. Death exists in a space where we are existing, but we are not living, when we are not fulfilling our purpose, when we are not living intentionally, when we are not living with passion, right? That is also death. So let us do our part, beloveds, brothers and sisters, to be the best examples that we can be, right? As we still continue to grow and strive and thrive, so that our brothers and sisters know that they can rise up too. All right. Let's move right along to our second segment of the day. Today's second segment, news that is not so good. Our need to know news of the day segment. It is local. It is in New York, and it is not such good news, right? On the concept of death. A 4-year-old boy has died inside of a New York City shelter because of exposure to fentanyl. A 4-year-old boy has died inside of a New York City shelter because of exposure to fentanyl. This is disgusting. My heart breaks for this boy, for his family, and for the world as a whole. Let us read this article from patch.com, and let's talk about it. Ital, I'm linked later. Got a compost program coming up. I want your opinion on dope composting. Let's do it. Let's talk about it. I love composting. I did farm school. I know a little bit. I got a master composter, great friend of mine's. I've been in it. So yeah, hit me up, brother. Hit me up. But yeah, let's read this article from patch.com and talk about it. This is heartbreaking, beloved. It's gut-wrenching, really. Article is right here. So this is yesterday. Boy 4 dies after being exposed to fentanyl at NYC shelter. The 4-year-old was transported to, I never know how to pronounce this word, Maimonides, Maimonides Hospital in critical condition, where he was later pronounced dead, police said. Brooklyn, New York. A 4-year-old boy found unresponsive inside a Brooklyn homeless shelter on Tuesday has died from suspected fentanyl exposure, according to reports. Police responded to the Women in Need, Inc. shelter in Flatbush around 8 a.m. and found the boy unresponsive and experiencing a medical episode. The 4-year-old was transported to Maimonides Hospital in critical condition, where he was later pronounced dead, police said. A spokesperson for WIN, a nonprofit that runs the Brooklyn shelter, confirmed the death in a statement. WIN is devastated by the tragic death of this innocent child who came to reside with us in one of our shelters. We are working closely with the NYPD to support their ongoing investigation, the statement read. We remain committed as ever to fostering a safe and supportive environment for all families that call a WIN shelter home. According to multiple media reports, EMS administered Narcan to the boy before taking him to the hospital, and police recovered drugs from the scene. The mother and father of the boy allegedly ingested fentanyl before exposing him to the drug. The city's medical examiner will determine the child's cause of death. The boy's identity has not been released. While the boy's parents were apparently taken into custody, police have not officially announced any arrests or charges. This is a developing story. This post may be updated. Yo, that is absolutely gut-wrenching, yo. Like, I want to cry. Like, yo, this fentanyl is destroying lives. It's killing babies, right? It's killing babies. Obviously, I was born in the 80s, so I don't know if babies were ingesting or being I don't know the babies that died from crack or heroin or things like that. But I know in the last year, right? Like, there's another article on Patch about the little girl. Live availability restricted. I can't talk about nothing on TikTok. TikTok's live is whack. I can't even talk about real news. Like, this is real news that's happening, and they flagging me for it, man. Like, so good. But yeah, I forgot. So the little girl last year in the Bronx right, who died at a daycare because the daycare owner, her boyfriend, was mixing fentanyl using the same tools that the daycare was using to feed the children. Little girl died last year, right? Last year in the Bronx from fentanyl exposure. This is insane. We got to figure this out as a community, right? It is not the other person's responsibility. Is yes, there may be some people a little more responsible to figure it out than others because everyone has different lives. But as a society, we got to figure this out. We got to get like this fentanyl thing under control because it is ravaging our communities, right? Like Michael K. Williams died fentanyl, right? Like so many people have died in the last few years from fentanyl overdoses, blatant exposure, and like the people who are using it, the people who are bringing it in, like, but this is addiction, I guess, right? So you can't even be mad at them too much because addiction is addiction, right? And I've been someone now who used hard drugs, but who dealt in that field, right? In my past life, I've been that person who wasn't thinking about, right, when I was able to, give someone something or sell someone something. I didn't think about what if they leave it at home, on their dresser and the child picks it up. I didn't think about that. Right, that wasn't my thought. So I understand when you're only hungry for the money, you're not thinking about the consequences of the people who are buying the thing from you. But man, it's so sad. Like this fentanyl. Like again, I don't remember hearing stories about babies dying from exposure, or ingesting any other hard drug like other than this one. And this is brutal, man. This is brutal. This is brutal. Take a moment of silence for this boy whose name we don't know yet. May his spirit rest peacefully. May his soul comfort his family, his relatives, his friends, those who knew him, those who were impacted by him. Just take a moment of silence for this young fella. Man. Let's move right along to our third segment of the day, our next segment. Today's third segment, our tip of the day. Today's tip, we changed the energy a little bit. My tip for you all is to push yourself to the point of exhaustion. Push yourself to the point of exhaustion. You will not die. You won't die. Your body is more resilient than you think. You are more resilient than you think, my brothers and my sisters. You come from a resilient people. Whoever's watching this, right? Whatever your ethnic background is, whatever your cultural identification is, you come from a resilient people. All of us humans are resilient to some capacity. So like you won't die. You won't die. You may be tired. You may feel like you want to die, but push yourself to the point of exhaustion. Stop settling for average. You heard what I talked about the other day from my boy Harold's book. Be savage, not average. Savage. SAVAGE acronym. Serious about victory and serious about victory and greatness. Serious about victory and greatness every day. Serious about victory and greatness every day. Be savage. Push yourself to the point of exhaustion. Yesterday, I was exhausted. I did 2 workouts yesterday for the first time in a long time. Tired. Physically tired. Got up this morning, got another workout in. I'm going to do another workout tonight when I get back in after grief group. Right? I'm pushing myself. I got goals. I'm going to rest, so I'm not going to I'm going to push myself to exhaustion, but I'm also going to rest because I'm also preparing for a fast. Right? I'm going to do a fast leading up to my birthday. This weekend into early, mid next week, I'll be fasting. But push yourself to the point of exhaustion, right? Whether that's working out, practicing your craft, right? If you are up, sometimes you got to be up 2-3 days in a row. Ron Lewis, you know this, working on your photos, editing, learning a new skill, right? Like cooking, working on your craft. Like Mona, you know this, my love, teaching, creating a curriculum, right? You also exercise. You got to sometimes go beyond the point of exhaustion. You got to go beyond that to where you are, until where you just crash. You won't die. You will not die, I promise you. And I understand balance. I'm someone who teaches balance, right? Who preaches balance, but I also preach that if you want something bad enough, you got to be willing to sacrifice that balance. You got to be willing to sacrifice that comfort. You got to be willing to sacrifice that rest. You got to be willing to sacrifice. You got to be willing to show up tired. You got to be willing to show up exhausted sometimes because you done stayed up for 2 days in a row working on something, right? That's part of the process of greatness. So do you want to be great or do you want to be average, right? That's a choice that we all have, and there's nothing wrong with being average if that's what you want for yourself. I'm just here to let you know you ain't got to settle for average. If somebody told you you are average and you want to be great, you can be great. But what it's going to take is work. What it's going to take is effort. What it's going to take is consistency, dedication, determination, right? Commitment. That's what it's going to take. And sacrifice, 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 sacrifice. Nothing great has ever been accomplished, achieved without some level of heavy sacrifice. Right? So remember that the only limits that exist are the ones that we put on ourselves. Those are the only limits that exist, right? So dig deeper, go harder. You can only become more when you're willing to do more. So if you want to be more, do more. If you want to have more, you got to be more. Very simple math. Very simple math. And with that, we're going to move right along to our fourth and final segment, our build of the day. Today's build, I want to talk about organization. Partnered with a couple years ago. I was with them yesterday. Echoes of Incarceration, right? Specifically, though, I want to talk about the impact of giving youth options to explore in life. The impact of giving youth options to explore in life. The impact of giving young people options to explore in life. And I want to shout out Echoes of Incarceration. Again, I've been collaborating with them for the last 3 years. Echoes of Incarceration is a youth-led organization centered around criminal justice. So we work with young people, giving them tools in photo and video journalism to address the criminal issues in the criminal justice system. So they've addressed mass incarceration using photo and video journalism. They've addressed solitary confinement using photo or video journalism. They've addressed parents in prison with their children free, right, using photo and video journalism. Absolutely incredible organization, incredible group of people who run it. Jeremy Robbins, the executive director, senior crew, Linda, Karan, Josue. They've been doing incredible things. Some of them have, they've been part of the organization for years. And yesterday we finished a 5-week cohort. So what we do is, we do 5 weeks at a time. 5 weeks, they get a skill, they go deep into that skill, they have the graduation ceremony, they receive a stipend, they get their certificates, they can invite their friends, their family to come, they see some of their work on screen. Yesterday, we was able to watch some clips from 2 interviews that we did, or the young people did, in the last 2 weeks. They interviewed brother Craig Williams, black man from Brooklyn, recently came home after doing nearly 27 years in prison. Completely changed his life, completely changed his mindset, and he's committed to, sharing his skills, his wisdom with the young people. As well as last week, they interviewed Dr. Unique Stark. She's a black woman from Brooklyn, social worker, abolitionist, revolutionary with the Brooklyn District Attorney. Absolutely incredible, right? Giving these young people these skills. They learn how to write questions, what is a good question, what is a good interview, how to make your subject comfortable. Then they learn the camera, the settings, how to set up cameras, tripods, how to set up lighting, how to set up audio, microphones, mic the people up. Absolutely incredible. I've been doing this work. And they've been around, right? Like I said, I've connected with them about 3 years ago, but they were doing great work before I even got there. But I like to think that I helped advance their work by introducing the mindfulness components, right? The last 3 years, I've been, leading them in meditations, and it's been freaking incredible. Like the breakthroughs that some of these young people have had in their personal lives, how much some of them have increased their creative productivity, not just in the organization, but even on their own at home, based on the meditation and mindfulness skills I've given them. They practice sound baths, we have moving meditation. We're going to do a few other things. I want to get into some yoga with them, aka Mona Love, right? You want to see what you can do with them, get some of your students involved as well. But yeah, man, right? Like, this opportunity is golden, right? I spoke about yesterday, I spoke about when I was a young person and I wanted to make movies, I wanted to make shows, I wanted to be in media and film and TV production and all of that stuff, but there was no outlets that I knew of, right? Like, clearly you can, go to modeling agencies and all of that stuff, but like, you got to be a certain type of person to get in. Number one, it costs money. Number two is you got to have a certain look. You got to be a certain person with a certain connection, because otherwise you just, they try to charge you and you pay, and nothing happens, right? But I said I wanted to make movies. I wanted to do things. I was in Queensbridge, Silver Cup Studios, right across the street. Kaufman Studios, right down the block, walking distance, right? And there was no opportunities to get into this field for me when I was younger. So I rebelled, went to the streets, in a whole heap of trouble, right? Been shot, been in prison for a shooting, right? Sold drugs, did all of the bad things, drunk myself to the point of falling asleep outside in cars, all type of things, right? So not good. So when you give young people opportunities to explore in life, right? Options to explore in life that they are interested in. And one thing we know, that our young people are interested in: music, film, and fashion. They love watching TV, they love the shows, they love making music, and they love dressing up, right? For the most part, a great majority of them, or a lot of them at least, maybe not the majority, but a lot of them. And so we shouldn't be shying away from that. We should be instead like figuring out how to enhance that. So Echoes of Incarceration is an organization that gives them that. They've done projects with Sesame Street, they've done projects with Upworthy, and they've been able to bring these young people who go through these cohorts, who go through these 5-week programs, who get these skills and who want to do it more. They're able to now get hired to work on professional sets, right? They're able to get hired to work on professional photo and video sets. Super dope, right? So yeah, I'm grateful that you've continued to come through the doors to learn these skills and take advantage of the opportunity. I'm grateful that I'm able to be a part of it in some capacity. And I look forward to helping to expand the program, to expand the organization. And with that, guys, that is our show. Right on time, baby. Start on time, end on time. It's all divine. That's a bar. Yo, listen, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Once again, I'm your boy, your host, Sean Sheree Marston. You were tuned into episode 317 of SR Daily with personality meets enlightenment. Please do join us right back here tomorrow. Same time, same place, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. right here on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Instagram Live, and TikTok Live. We're going to keep rolling right along, man. Episode 318 tomorrow as we wrap up week 64. And remember, guys, it ain't getting knocked down. That's the problem. Is staying down. So get up. The power is in you. As always, be kind to yourself and be kind to each other. Peace and love. Yes, sir. Take care, brother. Thank you so much. They do need a plethora of opportunities. Let's give it to them. Peace.